His most famous exploit recently was on the Visionary Activist show with Dr. John Carlson, but aside from that, he's done Al Jazeera, CNN, China, whatever. CCTV, and yes, and what are you telling them in the condensed form? We know you're a brilliant and erudite ally.
Thank you.
Yes.
Don't worry.
That's
the Maya
Thank you so much.
actually never predicted an end to their calendar or an end to their civilization, just like we never can believe in our own death. And the idea that the Maya had an end to their calendar was a misunderstanding by scholars that was published in many
Michael Coe?
By Michael Coe.
He was back
the
in the
last
60s.
and 1920s with Sylvanus Morley. Before then, the Germans talked about the Dresden Codex as being a world-ending flood. And these ideas were speculations. Scholars would speculate. And when scholars realized, as they did in the 1970s, that the calendar does not end with the Maya actually coming from the 14th block to after the 13th, and then on to the 20th, which is 4772 AD. When they realized that, the scholars said, "Oh, we were wrong."
Yes.
And the public didn't get the memo.
and there is, well, until now, everybody's going, oh, well,
that's right.
There's 2027, as you said, end of the Aztec calendar, so there's still time for Apocalypse Theros.
There is indeed.
But I love John Michael Greer's wonderful book, Apocalypse, not, as a history of the apocalypse meme, as a tool of the reality police, imperial powers to render people kind of like, there is a long history of apocalypse meme, and it's really never meant to encourage democracy in the populace.
That's true.
It encourages a kind of passivity, or as a friend of mine says, doom and gloom predictions for people with gloom things to do.
That's right.
It's the new Rapture credit card, the new high interest Rapture credit card, because it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, right. And so can we throw the apocalypse meme into the cauldron of the winter solstice for the fun of it?
Sure, why not?
And what would we ladle out?
Gosh.
If we're composting for a culture of reverent ingenuity, we're ladling out standards. Okay, we're composting apocalyptic meme into accountability and responsibility to address the world's issues.
I think the best thing that comes out of this 2012 thing is that the Maya gets the money as people come here, and more people.
It's a trickle down theory. It's a trickle down theory.
A few Maya. I actually got to spend 20 minutes talking with him about spending this morning.
Is he getting more money?
And he's building a big site halfway between here and Merida. He was just given a crystal skull to go into his museum. The more people are being turned on the Maya. I want to say that one of the things that attracted me to the whole, what should I say, to my job, to my job as a historian of writing, a historian of culture and archaeology, was reading books like Chariots of the Gods. That's what drew me into archaeology. Even though it was wrong, I eventually learned, what should I say, the scales fell from my eyes, and moved on to something more reasonable and repeatable. And I think that, I wrote my book because I wanted people to...
The book is?
My book is
yes,
2012, Science and Prophecy of the Ancient Maya. And it's available both on Amazon print book and as an iBook.
Right, and this is not an infomercial, it is an astounding book, available also on markbenchmark.com. But what I asked you on the Visionary Activist show, available at coyotenetworknews.com, but is, your bio, your presence is, is inspiringly erudite. PhD in physics, Japanese anime, Japanese sculpture, calligraphy around the world, the Mayan glyphs, teaching people the Mayan glyphs. So what I asked you, and still to respond, so what in the metaphoric imagination of the Maya and their deep dedication to specific, exquisite knowledge magnetized you? And what do you think is actually useful to everyone now about a culture of such a...
That's an excellent question. I think it's really important to remember that the Maya were the most advanced intellectually. They're the most advanced people that were still in the Stone Age. They were people who never discovered metal tools. They never used a wheel for purposes of toys, for anything but toys. Although those toys probably had a religious significance. They also destroyed their environment, and they collapsed under their own weight, just like some people we know.
Right. So this is the collapse of classic Mayan culture.
Classic Mayan culture. It happened 600 years before the Spanish.
Right. So cutting down all the trees.
Cutting down all the trees, overfishing their seas. They didn't prepare for a large drought. And when the drought came, there was nowhere to hunt, nowhere to supplement the fact that their corn was gone. And they started attacking each other. People say the Maya, we're not sure what killed this Maya civilization. Was it war? Was it disease? Was it hunger from the droughts? Well, when you're hungry, you're going to fight, and you're going to get sick. I mean, I think the drought's the sort of main thing that triggered it. But really, what triggered it was just not seeing far enough in the future to protect your environment.
So far vision.
Far vision.
Their calendar has far vision.
Yeah, they had this fabulous ability to look into the future with mathematics, but not with like protecting their environment.
So we all need far vision. And what you and John Carlson were saying on Visionary Activist Show, and maybe now again too, is you said there's indication that, you know, as they outstrip their environment, as their environmental crises, they decide that the idea of kings no longer divine, no longer useful, that there's thoughts that there's a huge, you know, rising up of populace, because there are many living Maya now. Maya culture did not die, but kings and empire collapsed.
That's right.
So this is important for now. I mean, this is useful.
That's right. People survive, civilizations don't, and people survive, political systems don't.
Right.
And if you don't respond to, if you don't prepare your people to live forever, if you don't expect to live forever yourself, and therefore plan 100 years in the future, 1,000 years in the future,
right.
I mean, you're gonna hit a bad patch and sink all at once.
And that's what, you know, eye doctors have found as we were using glasses like crutches, and that computers and smartphones, we've lost our distance vision.
Right.
Everything real, everything metaphoric. So we need a longer view.
That's right.
Which I think is important that you and the scholar team are bringing, and well, many in the mythology bringing forth. That they have the Maya calendar, exquisite, complex, you know, dates. What's the furthest one out that you know from
The
here?
furthest in the future is 4772 AD.
4772 AD.
Which is the Maya date 100008.
So in 4772 AD, another festival team?
Yes.
Really organized by then. Really in great shape.
And
by
you
4772.
should know that the Aztec calendar, the Maya calendar, the Mixtec calendar all disagree about when the end is.
Right.
The Maya calendar comes to 13000 on today. The Aztec calendar in 2027. The birth of Quetzalcoatl is celebrated on 2039. So be prepared. That's the next apocalypse.
That's it. Right. So there's mythos. You know, there's some knowledge which is full of mystery. You know, what we've said before is, you know, actual knowledge, greater pathway to mystery than hokum. There's a festival confluence now of self-invention, authenticity. Is it all useful? Is it all part of living ecology? Do we put some standards on the table? Do we welcome it all? Do we have a tolerant heart?
I like to think people have a more tolerant heart than they used to, and
yourself, you have a more tolerant heart than you used to. Well, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
I think that every day is a chance to become more tolerant.
Yes.
Every day is a chance to learn more stuff, and
so into the cauldron we might put our harumphitude.
Yes, harumphitude.
And we might put contempt. Would be good. I think, you know, all of us really, you know, contempt, because that severs kinship.
One of the things I'm really impressed by is that as many things have gone wrong with this program, and people not being able to get in, and people being kicked out of the place to be happy and stuff like that, is everybody's really mellow. It's like, oh yeah, it's a few more hours, we'll have to stay. Maybe we'll be up all night. It's like people have great hearts, and that's it's amazing how cool people are.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, we remember that the wonderful word delusion comes from deludo, which means out of the game, but illusion means in the game.
Right.
So we want useful working illusions, and we might say that really all of knowledge and even science is metaphor until it outlives its useful metaphor and then comes up with another.
I hope that some people learn that science is always willing to throw away the theory.
May it be so. There was phlogiston theory and so many interesting theories.
And the whole idea of the 2012 being the end of the calendar was a scientific idea until the 1970s. And they found an inscription that went beyond it, and the scientists went, oh, we were wrong.
Well, let's say for all of us that being wrong is a wonderfully liberating thing. Like, oh, I was wrong. How wonderful.
That's right.
Alhamdulillah. We love changing minds. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Ooh, anybody next? No, we've run out of people. All right.